Ayer elejazamos. Ayer elejazamos.
Oh, yeah, this is Football Primetime Live from the Primetime Radio Virtual Studios in somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy Dean, talking about the NFL Draft, 2020 NFL Draft. Welcome to Football Primetime on the Primetime Radio Network, all powered by Nova Product Design. You can find us on Facebook, our Facebook page at Primetime Radio Network. You can also find us on Twitter at Primetime Radio, and we're also on YouTube Live. Oh, yeah, YouTube Live, Primetime Radio. Hey, Billy, you're I can hear myself in the background because I think your speaker is on. I don't know if you fixed that. It seems like it's okay. All right, it's all solved. We got the technical issues out of the way. I see Roger Goodell. He's talking to Trey Wingo on the monitor right now, so they got their technical stuff out of the way. Welcome to the debut of this Draft Day podcast that we decided to do, Billy. This is a very exciting draft. You've got quarterbacks, you've got wide receivers, you've got offensive linemen, you've got those big guys. You can't have football without big guys. What do you think about this draft? What do you expect going on in the first round?
Yeah, Sam, I appreciate you having me with you guys. This is pretty awesome. This draft's quarterback heavy. You got four studs that I think will probably get taken that first round. Outside of that, this is the draft for linemen, in the first round, and then wide receivers. The big thing is you got, three stud wide receivers and that can all be taken within that first 10 to 15 picks. And then you got four offensive linemen that'll probably get taken within the first 10, from Mekhi Becton, Tristan Wirfs. You also got Wills and the big guy, Andrew Thomas. You got four studs that, I'd be really happy to go in that first half of the draft.
Yeah, and you know what was, surprising but not surprising. I was looking at Mel Kiper's, the draft, the best available. He has Chase Young as best available, best fit for the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. In my opinion, it starts with the QB, just like everybody else, every analyst says. But, do you think, wouldn't it be something, and obviously Cincinnati's going to pick Joe Burrow, but wouldn't it be something if they snuck around and get another Ohio State guy like Chase Young? Wouldn't that just ruin all the mock drafts? Wouldn't that just ruin everything? Like, that's what I want to see. Like, I like to see calamity at this virtual draft today of just absolute pandemonium, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, unfortunately, Joe Burrow got sent a couple of jerseys with Cincinnati's name on the front of them from the owner, and I think he actually sent his parents two of them too. So I think that's pretty much set in stone. I don't think they're gonna go off of that one. But Chase Young, he's that top player. I think there's three defensive players that are all probably ranked 1, 2, and 3 on everybody's big boards. Chase Young, you got the big defensive tackle Derek Brown from Auburn. And then you got the cornerback, Jeff Okudah from Ohio State, and these guys are all studs. They'll be probably picked in the first 10 picks. But Chase Young's got a one-way ticket to Washington. They can really screw this up by not taking him. Unless they're going to get a big haul and drop back a couple of spaces for someone else, I can't see them not going with this. Once he's not generational, but he's a stud defensive end.
Yeah, and I like Chase Young. as a Giants fan, I'm praying that he'll be there number 4. But you know what? You never know. Washington 3-13 last season. They've got a lot of needs. And I think Chase Young, again, I think he's one of these players. Just defensively, he could dominate. He 6'5", 264. I mean, who wouldn't want a guy like him? As talented he is, had a great young career at Ohio State. I like him, but again, I think the experts picking Burrow and Young 1-2. I think that's going to stick. Now, what do you think at number 3?
No, I mean, number 3, Detroit has that pick, but the big thing is people trading up, and that's the whole bunch of rumors that I've seen. You got Tua and Justin Herbert that are all right there, and that that want to jump up above the Giants or above Miami to try to get that quarterback. Sorry, and between Tua and Justin, the Detroit could hop down 2-3 spots, and grab probably Okuda in that 6 or 7 range with giving Miami and LA that pick, and then they get a bunch of extra picks for this draft. It's something that they'll probably look into. The Giants, hopefully, someone can try to jump up and grab their pick and jump ahead of Miami for a quarterback, and they can get a couple draft picks themselves. But, from what I just read and hear, I'm not, the biggest expert, but these are all guys that if someone can jump up to get a quarterback, that's the game in the game, right? You want a quarterback, he's your stud, and if they can get them, they'll try to jump ahead. So let's see if the Giants can pull off a trade.
I'll tell you what, after what happened last draft in 2019 with Dave Gettleman with the 6th overall pick, I remember, last season he had a couple first rounders, and then he traded up to get the 3rd one. So he had the 6th overall, and I believe that it was the 17th overall where he picked Dexter Lawrence. And I remember last year around this time, I remember posting on Facebook and Twitter after he drafted Daniel Jones, can the Giants fire Gettleman before the 17th pick? Because everybody was up in arms. It was like a Donovan McNabb situation. It was just. But you know what? Turns out Daniel Jones, is he a 6th overall pick? That's to be debatable. That's to be seen. But a lot of pundits think that Gettleman could have traded down. Traded down and get some more picks. But hindsight's 2020. You can't play Monday morning quarterback, but let's go to Miami with the fifth overall pick, because this is going to be very, very, very interesting. What are your thoughts, Billy?
Listen, unless they trade up for that 3 spot with Detroit, they have a one-way ticket to Tua. I just think that's the play. They need a quarterback down there. They need someone to run that offense. Tua's a big name. He's obviously got a great arm, great set of legs. His only problem is he's injury prone. He's a hip issue. His knees have issues. There are reports that he had broken a wrist in spring practice a couple years ago. He's probably the most talented quarterback in this draft. Joe Burrow is smart. He knows what he's doing. He might not have the best arm, but he's a great quarterback. It's between Tua and Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's probably going to go to the Chargers at 6, but Tua at 5. It's a great play. And the difference between those two, Justin Herbert's smart guy, doesn't have maybe the best arm as well, but he knows and he picks his spots, and he's not necessarily a big gunslinger. Tua's that gunslinger, and you get him and he can rock and roll, and you watch Bama games. He's fun to watch.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we just take a little bit of a station identification? I know you're not used to that, Bill. This is Football Primetime on the Primetime Radio Network, streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube Live. And we got a little bit of a feature. Part of the reason why we're doing this live video podcast, Bill, was everything is virtual. Everybody's at home, right? Everybody's watching the draft. And people ask, well, why are you doing it when everybody else is doing it? I'll tell you a reason why we're doing it. There's a new feature that we put on this podcast that we want the audience to know. we don't want Roger Goodell to get away with not getting booed. So during this live podcast, as the team is picking, we're going to make sure, and we have a graphic. Let's put up the graphic, and I'll play it. Hold on a sec.
Boo!
Boo! Boo! Boo! And you can boo along with us on Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope. You can boo in the chat room. We're taking your questions as well. Brett Porter says he's no Sanchez. How about that Tom Brady? Marty Lynn is saying. So we got people chiming in on this Football Primetime live podcast going on right now. Your setup, you've got like iPads, you've got computers, you've got this, camera feed going into the virtual studio right now. I've got iPads and computers. I've got my monitor, my TV, and all that. So we're all prepared. Even though we didn't do much pre-production, but we're like, yeah, let's shoot from the hip. Let's see what's going on. I mean, how can you really prepare for this draft when we just went through, 3 through 6 potentially getting traded, right? Definitely getting traded. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go to 7, Carolina. What do you think Carolina's going to do here? New owner. They've got a billionaire owner. He's got more money than this entire country right now. And he can just outbid anybody. But you know what? When it comes to the draft, the only thing he can do is rely on his staff. What do you think David Tepper's team is going to do?
So I did post this mock draft on Twitter. You can check it out there. The handle's up on the screen. So I have them taking Isaiah Simmons. Carolina's a tough one. They don't need wide receivers, and they don't need quarterback, obviously, because they got Teddy Bridgewater. But they do have a lot of people saying they need defense. Maybe they take Isaiah Simmons if he's there. Obviously, Jeff Okudah if he drops. They could take Derek Brown as a D tackle. And then they're also one of the spots, maybe they take a tackle. Maybe Becton goes off the board, or someone like Jedrick Wills will be still available. But they're one of those teams that can easily go anywhere. They're their own mock draft. You can put a whole bunch of people there and take that for word.
We got some messages from the Facebook Live group. Kurt writes, can we skip and go to the Jets? No, we cannot. We're going to go through every team. Not the whole world revolves around the Jets, Kurt, okay? Kelly writes, Giants. Okay, so now we got some Giants and Jets here. And, of course, how about that Tom Brady? Did you hear about the Tom Brady story where he walked into some guy's house randomly? Did you hear about this story?
Yeah, I read something quickly on Twitter about it. The guy's.
I mean, he's already getting in trouble. He's already getting in trouble in Tampa, right? He's not social distancing, gets a ticket, right? And then
at the park.
Yeah, at the park, and then the story comes out that people that don't know the story. So he's walking around with a couple duffel bags, going to Byron Leftwich's house, who's the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers, right? And now, to be fair, TMZ showed the photos how similar the houses look. It's probably one of these cookie cutter developments. Wow, seems like you've got some somebody dropped the dishes in the background, Bill. But anyway, so he's going to I guess practice or meet up with Byron, and he walks into the wrong house. He just opens up the door, walks in, and he looks at the guy, drops his duffel bags, and is like, "Am I in the wrong house?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Is this Byron's house?" And then realized he apologized profusely, whatever, and then he went over the other guy. So, I mean, can you imagine if Tom Brady comes to your house? Can you imagine that?
I mean, I wouldn't like it very much as a Jet fan, obviously joking, but yeah, no, it's, he's down in St. Petersburg, right? He's at his big mansion down there in St. Pete. Now he's got Gronk next to him. that figures. But those two are going to hook us from TD passes down there, and he's obviously a stud quarterback. He's going to look good next to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and they're one of those guys that one of those teams that could use a tackle. They're a team that needs some help protecting him. They also need a running back. There's some talk in the second round of the kid from LSU going over there, and they have some really good opportunities.
Yeah. All right. So we got 13 minutes to the top of the hour before the draft starts. So so number 8, Arizona Cardinals. What are they going to do with that pick? What are your thoughts?
So I think they're destined for a tackle. I mean, they need to protect their quarterback. They just got Hopkins as a wide receiver to give him some really good hands. So obviously, Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the NFL. They need to protect their QB. And, right now I have Tristan Wirfs going to them at 8. It's most likely a tackle. Maybe they could use a D tackle, help out some of that defense, maybe stop some people. It's going to be a shootout down there. They're one of those guys I have destined for the trenches.
Number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars. They got really lucky with Josh Allen falling to them at number 7 last season. Now they're at number 9. Ownership group, there's a lot of tension in Jacksonville. What are they going to do with that pick, Billy?
So, I mean, they have Yannick Ngakoue who wants out. I mean, he just got in a big Twitter beef, I think, with his ownership.
Wait a second. What word did you say? Beef? Did you say beef?
Hey, where's the beef?
Yep, there's beef in Jacksonville. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to play that sound.
No, all good. Yeah, but he wants out, and I think they're going to go for that defensive line. I have them penciled for Derek Brown, and the guy's a stud. He's probably the second best talent in this draft. He's a big defensive tackle that can get in the trenches, take on 2-man blocks, but he also rushes the quarterback. He gets in there. For Auburn, he was a stud against Clemson. He's one of those guys you want to see, wreaking havoc along that defensive line. I have him going there. He's a perfect spot for Jacksonville, and a lot of those Jacksonville Jaguars fans, losing Calais Campbell and probably losing Ngakoue and obviously Jalen Ramsey. I mean, this is the perfect spot for them to take another monster.
All right, so number 10 pick, Cleveland Browns. Cleveland underachieved last season. Rumors of Odell Beckham Jr. being traded. Rumors Minnesota. Do you think there's going to be some kind of move here with that 10th pick, or do you think they're going to be drafting?
No, I think they'll probably take this draft. They need a tackle bad. I have them taking Mekhi Becton, but they need someone to protect Baker, and they have the wide receivers. They have the running backs, obviously, with Kareem Hunt. They have some pretty good defense players, guys in the trenches and stuff. They need a tackle, so I have them taking Mekhi Becton. I think that he'll be a great addition to that offensive line, especially left or right tackle.
All right, well, Kurt got his wish. We're at the number 11 pick. I've seen butt fumble comments, maybe Kenny O'Brien type comments. The Jets may know something about why they pick Marino. Is this going to be a Browning Nagel? I don't know. I know you're a Jets fan. I'll let you take it from here.
No, I mean, obviously Ken O'Brien is another one, but they have their quarterback, right? So the big thing is getting him weapons. We have a decent defense. Obviously, we're still in need of a defense, pass rusher. We're still in need of a corner. But, I don't think the defense is the big issue. I think it's on the offense. It's either a tackle or a wide receiver. This is one of those tricky picks. They could either go with someone like Andrew Thomas or Becton if he's still there, or they could be the first team to go for after that wide receiver. And CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, along with Henry Ruggs, they're all studs. And, if they can get someone like that to catch some passes from Darnold, that'd be a big plus. I have them taking the tackle just because wide receiver is so deep, but it's one of those picks where either way they're going to land a good prospect. And Jets fans need that. Their quarterback needs that, let alone Jets fans.
All right, 9 more minutes to the draft start. So, all right, so 12th pick overall, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Listen, if Al Davis was still alive, Henry Ruggs would absolutely be the pick. He's got the speed to do absolutely everything. I mean, the guy's, a missile. He's ridiculously fast. He works really good off press coverage too. I did get to see some games with Bama from him. But he's a stud too. I have them taking CeeDee Lamb. I have them going off the board with the big guy, great uncontested catches. They need the length there. Whether it's Derek Carr or Derek Carr, I forgot who else got over there. But Derek Carr throwing him passes, he needs that stud wide receiver. I have him going CeeDee Lamb.
All right, hey, we got a question. Will the Jets make the playoffs? Marco asks. I love Marco, by the way. I met him at PJ Ryan's on my other podcast, the Let's Go Devils podcast, and he said something to me, and I thought I like to have what he was smoking. He said, "You're better than Doc Emmerich." Anyway,
nice.
You think the Jets are going to make the playoffs as we move on to number 13?
Think they'll be on that bubble. Hope, yeah. I obviously want them to make the playoffs. It's been quite a bit, and plus now you have all this turnover within the AFC East. Brady's gone. I think the Bills are a good team. I don't think they're as good as they're hyped up, but I still think they're really good. And Miami's going to start to make some moves here. I think they're right on that bubble, though. I think they could be a possible wildcard team. I hope so.
Yeah, so number 13, the San Francisco 49ers from the Indianapolis Colts, that big trade. What is San Fran going to do? Reports are they're looking for more picks. They've got 2 picks in the first round, but they are very meager in between that. And I think, was it the 5th round before they pick again? I forgot which round it was. Yep. What do you think San Francisco's going to do? Do you think they're going to be wheeling and dealing to try to bolster up that roster? They did pretty well last season.
No, they're a good team. They definitely could use some picks in the later rounds, especially in the 2nd, 3rd round, 4th round. I could see them trading down. I didn't do any trades in my mock draft just because I wanted to get the picks in. But I could definitely see them going with a wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, Bama. He might be the best route runner there is. He's deceptively fast. He's got good feet. The guy catches pretty much everything. They compare him to Calvin. In between Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones is that stud wide receiver. I could see them going with Jerry Jeudy. I could see them going with the defense prospect, maybe someone to take some load off that front 7 as well, either a linebacker or even going corner. Javon Kinlaw is a D tackle from South Carolina. He could be there. C.J. Henderson from Florida, cornerback. They're another one of those wild card teams where they could pretty much go anywhere in the draft and kind of blow it up.
All right, number 14, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who are they going to pick? Did I frame that well?
The Tampa Brady's? No, they're doing pretty well down there.
You better watch out. He may have trademarked that, and we're going to be all sued by Tom Brady. You never know. He'll just walk into my house with a bunch of duffel bags and try to take our money, right?
He's doing something that TB12 where it's Tampa Bay's insignia and then the 12. So I would figure he just everything trademarked. He tried to get the terrific Tom from Tom Seaver, right?
Yeah, I know. And that protest shot that down, but was it? Tampa Tom. I forgot what he was. Yeah, what he was trying to do.
Mets fans would have blown their gaskets if that happened.
Yeah. I think Mets fans would have actually killed him if you ask my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So number 15, Denver Broncos.
Well, just quickly back on the Tampa. We didn't give him a thing, but I have him as a D tackle. They definitely need it. I have them getting a D tackle, but they definitely need an offensive tackle. Right now, I don't have any of those 4 guys slotted. They've all been taken already, so I don't have offensive tackle, and I don't think that Josh Jones is good for this spot. I think it's a little high for him at a Houston. But I do have them taking Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina, that defensive tackle. But they need protection and they need line, defense or offense.
All right. So 15 Denver Broncos.
Yeah. So 15, I have. They need that wide receiver opposite. Man, I'm blanking on the quarterback's name, but they need wide receivers. I see them taking Henry. Yes, thank you, Drew Lock. The surprise pick. I didn't think them taking him last year, but they need that opposite wide receiver. I have them taking Henry Ruggs, going deep, and he's a perfect complement to what they have there. It's definitely a pick that I could see them going with. Either him, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy. They could even trade up to try to get to one of those 3 wide receivers. I think that's their top guy.
All right. So we're about halfway through the draft right now. Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are getting a little bit older right now, but they're sitting there at the 16th pick. Who do you think they were going to pick?
Yeah,
what are their needs?
Their offense is pretty much set. You got Todd Gurley there. You got Julio, obviously, Calvin Ridley. Their offensive line's very decent. I think they go defense. I have C.J. Henderson from Florida, the cornerback. They do need help in that secondary. I think that it's one of those picks where they're going to try to go, after a ball hawk, someone to, definitely take some pressure off of their front seven, which is, they're pretty decent. They're not bad, but they have the linebackers, so I can't see them going something like that, but definitely secondary.
Hey, we got a question from at FunkoFan19 on Twitter. He's asked us, what do you think the Patriots do at QB? Possibly trade up with the amount of draft picks they have, second most?
I mean, that trade up is I've seen a couple instances, guys saying that that's something that might be in a play. Jordan Love from Utah State is that 4th QB. Jacob Eason's another guy, but he's more of a second, third round guy. Jordan Love I have going to 30 to Green Bay, them taking the quarterback of the future for them. I just think that they're going to go with Jared Stidham, and they're going to make sure that they give him all the leash that he needs. I think they love him in that organization. He's got a lot of positive feedback. They're a young team. They're going to start to build around a young quarterback. I think they'll give him the year, and they have, some backup in case he falters. But I see them, trying to stay away from a quarterback, at least for this draft.
All right. So we're about the top of the hour right now. Pick number 17, Dallas Cowboys.
So Dallas Cowboys, I have Javon Diggs, cornerback from Bama. I think there's going to be a good run on corners, especially in the middle of this draft to the back half of the draft. I think I had 6 or 7 actually being taken. So 1, 2, 3. I think I've 6 cornerbacks being taken, especially in this back half. Trevon Diggs, Bama. He's does well in press coverage. He's pretty good with zone. It's a good pick for Dallas to get back what they lost in Byron Jones.
All right, so now we're at 8 p.m. Eastern right now, Billy. You're going to take the lead on this one because you've got the better feed. You've got the quicker feed to announce who's been drafted. So I'll take your lead because just for everyone tuning in, we've got a booing graphic. So when Cincinnati, boo, 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 because we're virtually not going to let Roger Goodell not just get out of this one since. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some excuse, Roger, do it in your basement because I'm a little scared. Anyway, those are just jokes. We're just joking around. So I'll follow your lead. So when they're about to pick, let me know, and then I can get that graphic up. So, all right. So we're going to have to speed it up because I'm assuming that, they're going to do this thing. Welcome from my basement in New York. I'm Roger Goodell. I can't hear you. But anyway, yeah. And then just, wouldn't it be great if somebody just broke in out of nowhere and just got in front of the camera like a streaker or what? Oh, that would be great. Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, or somebody as a joke, pulled the cord outside and they lose his feet. Anyway, we shouldn't talk about that, considering we're on live air right now, and what goes around comes around, karma. All right, so let's speed it up here. So, number 18, Dolphins have another pick from Pittsburgh. What do you think they're going to do with that one?
Yeah, so I have them taking a tackle, Josh Jones from Houston. They do need trench, help. He's a big boy. I think he's 6'7", 6'6". Someone to protect, possibly Tua if he gets drafted by them. After that, I think they actually have another pick at 26, which have them taken AJ Espinosa from Iowa. He's a defensive end, someone to get after the quarterback. They have a lot of spots open on this team, for good reason. Haven't had a good drafts in a while, and it's a team that with 3 first-round picks, they can do a lot of stuff, whether it be trading up, trading down, getting some more picks. But I have them taking tackle and then the defensive end.
All righty. So, again, another trade
Vegas.
From Chicago, Vegas, the Vegas Raiders. Stocking up on pick. John Gruden's team, stocking up on picks.
Yeah, I got A.J. Terrell, cornerback, Clemson. Someone to give that defense a little bit of a bite. He's, pretty good on that press coverage, as I said. Someone that they can rely on in the back to take off that number one wide receiver. After that, Jacksonville going up again, and I got Chasen from LSU, defensive end, someone to possibly take that Ngakoue spot.
All right, 21 pick, the Eagles, Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. They need a wide receiver bad. You saw last year with just the amount of injuries they had. They need talent in that X and Y receiver spot. I have them going after Justin Jefferson, big guy, 6'4", LSU.
Everybody's saying that. Everybody's saying that. I'm telling you, everyone's like, they want Jefferson. They want Jefferson, and
they'd love to trade up and try to get one of the big 3. I could see them doing Henry Ruggs, having him, do those fly patterns. You could also have them seeing Jerry Jeudy or even CeeDee Lamb if they can get up that high. And there's a lot of teams that want to trade back, so we'll see if that's one of those teams that can jump up.
22 Minnesota Vikings from Buffalo. That pick, where do you think that's going?
I have them going after one of your alma mater there, Yetur Gross-Moss, defensive end, Penn State, someone that can rush the quarterback. They definitely need some defensive end help if they can't get some guys re-signed. It's a good pick for them.
All righty.
New England.
24th. Oh, no. You know what? I probably – let me tell you something real quick. That was probably a Freudian slip there. I skipped New England, but I really shouldn't have. Okay, I have to be professional here. New England Patriots.
So there's 3 awesome linebackers in this draft between Isaiah Simmons, Patrick Queen from LSU, and Kenneth Murray. And, I know New England, they have some pretty decent offensive line talent. They don't need the quarterback right now. I think wide receivers, maybe they could go after someone, drop down, but I think they have some guys they like in that system. I think they go after defense. They go after a linebacker. I think Patrick Queen, LSU, rangy, can get sideline to sideline, make some tackles. They're really good with drafting linebackers, and I think he's one of the next ones.
Moving down, 25th pick, Minnesota Vikings again.
So, I had Patrick Queen to New England. I had New Orleans taking Kenneth Murray, linebacker for New Orleans. But Minnesota, with another pick, taking Jalen Johnson, a cornerback to Utah. They still need help on that defensive side, and I think they could go after someone like that. They could also jump up or try to maybe take someone like T. Higgins, wide receiver, to go across and fill in the spot that Buffalo took their guy. I'm blanking on the wide receiver's name.
Don't worry about it. Who cares?
Yeah, a lot of names. Football.
All right, so Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans pick.
So Miami taking, like I said, AJ Espinosa, defensive in Iowa. Then Seattle going after Xavier McKinney, safety from Bama, someone to possibly take that Legion of Boom and restart it. He's a very good safety. Someone that I could see leading that team in that defense.
All right, 27, Seattle Seahawks.
Well, so 27, we got a Xavier McKinney, sorry. And then 28, Baltimore, Zach Bond, that defensive end outside linebacker from Wisconsin. He fits that perfect mold of that outside linebacker that they have rushing. Matthew Judon, same kind of player.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the screen. A moment of silence. Goodell is already speaking right now as we speak. Did the pick start yet? Matt said no, it has not. But keep tuning in because we're doing this draft live as we see it. Number 28, Baltimore Ravens. What a year last year for the Baltimore Ravens. Young quarterback, doing well. Had some troubles in the playoffs. Had a mini comeback there. So what do you think Baltimore is going to do? What are their needs?
Yeah, Zach Bond, defensive end from Wisconsin, a guy that can rush that passer. Matthew Judon is still there, but I think they could use someone on the other side flanking him and getting after the quarterback.
Alrighty. Tennessee Titans, number 29.
So there's one of those teams that can use wide receiver help, either that or going after someone in the trenches. I don't think there's any linemen. Maybe Ezra Cleveland from Boise State can jump into the spot, but I see T. Higgins, wide receiver, Clemson. Really good wide receiver, big mitts, someone that can take the ball and run some fly routes and get open for their new multimillionaire quarterback.
Alrighty. Number 30, Green Bay Packers.
So this is where I have the fourth quarterback off the board, Jordan Love, Utah State. Aaron Rodgers is still a beast. But they've done this multiple times in their draft history, from Brett Favre, drafting Aaron Rodgers in front of him. And now they're going to do the same thing. I have them taking the QB to sit behind Rodgers for a couple of years, and then when he takes off or goes to a different team, this guy fills in and is there for another 12 to 14 years to annoy Bears and Vikings and all those lovely fans up north.
Pick number 31, San Francisco 49ers. What do you think about San Francisco?
Yeah, I haven't taken a tackle. Ezra Cleveland, Boise State. They need some help along the line. We already had them taking Jerry Jeudy as wide receiver to help out. But this is where they go into the trenches. Ezra Cleveland, Boise State, someone that, a lot of scouts and draft pundits are all over the place on, whether he's high or lower. But I think he's someone that deserves to be picked around this area.
Alrighty, and number 32, the Super Bowl champions, Andy Reid's Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, I don't think they need any more help on offense. They are legit. From QB to tight end, wide receiver, their line, it's all running back. Damian Williams, who came out of nowhere. They seem to have all these guys just coming out of the woodwork. Andy Reid is a wizard on offense. I have them going defense. Jeff Gladney, cornerback, TCU, someone that can help them out in the back end, maybe stop some scoring.
All right, great. So that rounds out the first round. So we're going to do this as long as we can, Billy, and as long as we're having fun. I'm having fun tonight. Are you having fun tonight? Yeah, Facebook Live's having fun. We got Gerald watching us. Matt Jr. is asking questions. We're on Facebook Live, Twitter Periscope, and YouTube Live on the Primetime Radio Network. This is Football Primetime. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy Dean, talking football. I miss football. It sucked to see the XFL had to close down, and I mean, it was just. I actually liked the innovation that what the league was doing. I thought the kickoffs were interesting. I thought the whole format was interesting. I was actually watching games before the shutdown, and when it shut down, I was kind of like, well, that sucks. And I hope they can bring that back because it was an interesting concept. We got a glimpse for a few weeks of that.
No, I was going to say, I also think that a lot of the rule changes that they did and the different ways that they interviewed players, I think the NFL is going to take that and run with it. I mean, there's a lot of good things that they can do that, that they can borrow and, well, for lack of a better term, steal from the XFL and use these as ways to, improve their product. I mean, the XFL was a fun time. There's even a couple prospects that were in the XFL that are probably going to be drafted in later rounds.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're waiting for the Cincinnati Bengals to be drafting at some point, right? Very soon. But we're going to be putting up that booing graphic. So just give me a thumbs up when we're ready to announce who Cincinnati picks, whatever, or do this. Don't even give a thumbs up because it's going to have a Roger Goodell. Just do that. Wave or text me. Just signal me because you've got the faster feed right now, and I want you to announce it, and we're going to go over a little bit of analysis, then we go to the next pick, which is the Washington Redskins, the second overall. So that's the format right now, everybody, that we're doing here on Football Primetime. Never knew you did a podcast for football too. Is Nick involved in this too? I don't know which Nick you're referring to, Matt, but Nick Villano. No, I didn't know that I was doing a football podcast till I realized Goodell is going to be announcing players' names and who they're picked without getting booed. So we figured that we would boo, you stink, get out of the basement, you hog, that kind of thing. But anyway,
one of the great things we don't. Sorry, Sam. I'd say one of the great things you don't get to see is him giving those awkward hugs on the stage to these guys as they come up in their biggest moments. They're getting, bear hugged by Roger Goodell, something that not many guys I think want.
Yeah, I know. And you know what's the funny part? It's like, Goodell is hugging these guys, and it's like he knows that in 5 years they're going to be complaining about him for some of them with suspensions or contract disputes or whatnot. But anyway. Don't mean to be negative there. So, are they picking yet, or are they at a commercial break?
No, so Trey Wingo's up on the screen. He's showing all the feeds from. I think they have like 60 prospects throughout the draft that have live feeds from their house. I guess they're waiting on Joe Burrow, the consensus number one, to get that definite pick from Cincinnati.
That'd be great if Gettleman picks somebody obscure guy and they're like, wait a second, he doesn't have a feed because he was just in love with him in the Senior Bowl like last year. That's pretty cool though, that they have that Zoom in the background.
Yeah. No, they right now they have the Cincinnati Bengals fans up. Everybody's clapping, but I could see Gettleman. Unfortunately for the Giant fans, and I used to live in a family full of Giants fans. I'm the only not smart Jet fan, but I could see them definitely, going off the board if he has his paws and his eyes set on someone.
AJ Dean writes, what's the first team to have technical difficulties? Yeah, I want to know. I want to know. Well, the Bengals are on the clock right now, right?
Yeah,
they're on the clock.
Bengals
right
on
now?
The clock. So Roger Goodell's up and he's talking.
All right, he's up now. So are we booing?
He's talking. I don't know if he's displaying the pick. He's showing some highlights of him hugging a whole bunch of players. That awkward hug.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we didn't really think this one through, or I didn't think this one through about adding the Roger Goodell booing feature here on Football Primetime on the Primetime Radio Network. So it's going to be interesting. Okay, see, I'm on the delayed feed. I have him, talking right now is what you're saying. So just give me a cue. Be like, hey, he's talking.
Yeah, he's chatting. He's showing. Michael Strahan was on the screen. A bunch of squares out. I think he's getting ready definitely to make a pick here. And obviously we think it's all consensus that Joe Burrow goes there. They need a quarterback. I mean, really, Boomer Esiason was the last great quarterback that they had.
Yeah. All right. Just let me know. Let me know when to flip the switch. And we'll go to it.
Yeah, I mean, they have Cincinnati Bengals up on his TV screen right now in that nice office of his. Here we go, Bengals.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor, Duke Tobin, Director of Player Personnel on the screen. They're on the clock, it says. I don't see a draft timer. That's the only thing. But now they're using video game graphics. 9 minutes 44 seconds left for the Bengals to make a pick. I don't think this should take that much time, but
you know what? You know what I'm thinking, Billy. Let's improvise here. Let's just do it for the Cincinnati Bengals, and the rest of the way we're not going to do it because I think it's going to be confusing the crap out of us, and everyone's going to see booing the entire time. You know. So let's just do it once. Let's do it once. Let's have a little fun. And then we'll spread the word.
They're showing Joe in his house. Obviously his parents, but like I said, I think the ownership had sent jerseys to him and his parents to wear when they pick him in the spot.
Do you remember the rumors that he wasn't going to sign, and there were rumors that he said that don't pick me? It's not even fair to that kid. I mean, the guy just got out of a national championship with LSU. It was lights out all season. You beat Clemson, right?
Yeah.
Like what bigger? They're studs. Down south. It's down South Carolina. It's just like. It's like, what? He's not going to sign? Is he pulling an Elway or a Eli Manning? No. And you know what? Athens high school football out in Ohio. I mean, I think it'd be great for Cincinnati to pick.
Yeah, I mean, they compare him to, this whole situation of LeBron James, which is totally different. QB, obviously a very big-time position in NFL, but, I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Fame basketball player. And this kid's going to go here and hopefully lead Cincinnati to some big things. But, I mean, he had one of the best – I think it was the best season for a college quarterback in NCAA history. Guys lights out, helped them win the national title, wins a Heisman. I think he set records for yards and for touchdowns. I mean, the guy's a complete stud. And, I didn't think he was going to pull Eli Manning or even, John Elway. But it's definitely a player that deserves to get all the accolades of being a first overall pick.
Well, look at all those everybody social distancing on ESPN and NFL Network. Trey Wingo, you got Mel Kiper. I got my Mel Kiper glasses in case I want to imitate him. He's got some new glasses. It's always dark, the slick hair, all that
thin frame.
So, yeah. So what does your draft clock say right now? Because mine says 7:30.
Yeah, 7:02. So Daniel Jeremiah on the screen.
Okay, so you're 30 seconds ahead of me, so I can kind of guesstimate within 5 seconds or whatever. But if Goodell gets to the podium early or up, just let me know, and then we'll do that one, and then we're done with that for the rest of the night because I didn't think this one through because of the delay issues. But it's okay. Well, we still have people chiming in the Facebook Live group. We already had a Twitter question. This is our maiden voyage, Bill. I mean, this is the maiden voyage of Football Primetime Live. You can tweet us.
Pretty cool.
We even have a QR code. I don't know if it works or not, but we may have a QR code to take us to our Twitter page.
I was definitely going to say the first team to have technical difficulties. I think that's got to be the Lions. That's a complete Lion thing to do.
Yeah,
I think they even said something about Jets. Well, yeah. Let's hope that's not the case. But no, Lions. I think they were even talking about their. I think Matt Patricia's tech guru is going to be in a Winnebago outside of his house. Working the system, and it's the complete Lion thing to do because a Winnebago is obviously not Ford.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about this live virtual draft? This is what they used to do before they actually televised drafts, is they call you in your house. What's cool about this is it's sort of going back to that old small town format where, you're sitting in your home waiting for the call, but this time around you're waiting, on video, and they have cameras there showing you right now what it's like because we're all distancing right now. It's actually kind of cool. It's kind of like sort of a glimpse of like 1975 when they did the NFL draft, Pete Rozelle and that group. So it's it's kind of cool. This is going to be a very different draft. Let's just enjoy it. It's just different. Obviously, under the circumstances, we understand why. But what is the Bengals doing? You got the first pick. You don't know who you're picking.
I guess they're. I'll say maybe their internet's down. They can't get in yet. No, I mean, obviously this is one of those times in life that it's craziness, and obviously thoughts and prayers out to everybody that's feeling for this sickness and this issue. Obviously all the just a little side note, all the nurses and first responders, awesome, applaud everything you guys do. Grocery store clerks,
Absolutely.
gas station attendants, everybody. We really appreciate it. So that me and you can do something like this, and podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm in my man cave right now, and just all this cool stuff we get to do. But props to them. But yeah, I mean, you know who Cincinnati's going to take. I don't understand what the big holdup is.
You never know. They're going to trade up. Trade down. Somebody's going to trade up. You just never know. You just never know. That's what I'm saying. If they pick Chase Young and screw up everybody's draft boards, it's like, what do you do?
I mean, he is the consensus number one player, but I mean, everybody is just, the kids.
I'll tell you what
it's going to be a stud quarterback.
I'll tell you what it is. If I were GM and I had the first overall pick, I'd milk it to the last second. And reason being, it's just 15 minutes worth of advertising for your team. That's all it is. Because if you do it too early, it's like, there's no marketing behind it, right? So yeah. So let's see how Cincinnati does, but.
So pick is in. Bengals pick is in.
Bengals pick is in. All right, let's go to the booze. Yep. Let's go to the booze.
Boo. They're showing Joe Burrow's.
Joe Burrow.
Well, sorry, they're just showing Joe Burrow's 2019 Heisman Trophy winning season. They're doing his Heisman Trophy speech. I mean, you can't butter this up any more than telling you who exactly it's going to be.
So they didn't actually select it yet?
No, it's still the Joe Burrow effect. They're going through this whole big thing now. The Plains of Ohio. They're showing Gigi's Country Kitchen. Man,
you know what? He did a nice thing. He did a really nice thing at Heisman, talking about his town, and soup kitchens, or I forgot the specifics. Just an amazing kid. Just an amazing kid. You just couldn't help. So humble, Joe Burrow. You just can't help but root for him. He's one of those guys you want to root for. I mean, even if this guy wins like 6 Super Bowls or multiple Super Bowls like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady, there's this arrogance about him. You're just like, I want to kill him. But Joe Burrow, like, how can you not like him? I mean, how can you not like him?
So they're showing Joe Burrow right now, and he's actually got a Cincy hat in his hand, but still has not made the pick.
Wow!
All right, here he is. Here's Roger Goodell. He's up on the screen.
All right, going back to booing.
He's making the announcement. Boo!
Boo! Boo! Boo! Boo! Boo!
All right, if it's official, Joe Burrow, QB LSU.
Joe Burrow, QB
Number
LSU. 1. First overall pick. Great pick by the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals are getting a quality human being. They're getting a quality player, undefeated for the LSU Tigers this past season in college football. Amazing pick. Now it's going to get interesting with Washington. There were rumors that they were looking at quarterbacks that they're not sold on the pick last season from Ohio State. Sorry, his name just slipped my head.
Yeah.
Who was the court? Yeah, you don't remember?
Yeah, Ohio State. Jesus.
We should know this, Billy.
I know. I can't believe.
Dwayne.
Dwayne
crap.
Haskins. Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
That's how bad he was last year. I forgot his name didn't even show up anywhere. But Joe Burrow's going to Cincinnati again. I hate it when you hear those rumors about him saying no, don't pick me. I'm glad it's not true because this kid is just he has to be number one after the season he had in college football. He's big, he's strong. Cincinnati's going to love this kid. You know, the days of Boomer Esiason are back again in Cincinnati. You got a great quarterback. You've got a hometown kid in the state of Ohio going into your city. I would be proud if I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan. They should be proud. Kelly writes, Joe does not look happy. No, that's just the way he looks. Some people just don't look happy. I'm sure he's happy. Yeah, wait till he signs that contract with his right arm. He's going to be pretty happy. He's going to take that to the bank.
Oh,
yeah.
LSU fans, LSU team.
Yeah. You know, Shorts guy writes, I hope they don't pick him. Yeah, see, I like to see draft board catastrophes, calamities. But right now, the Washington Redskins are on the clock, right? And
5 minutes.
Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, great pick. I mean, they got a stud. Yeah, good for them. I mean, number 2, right? Washington, Chase Young, this is a perfect spot for him. Going to a team with a really good, legit D-line. He can get on that pass rush, and you know, Washington needs a stud. You know, there was talk about them possibly taking a QB to compete with Haskins. I mean, that's the absolute worst thing they could probably do. You know, you got to trust the kid, at least give him more than a year. You know, Chase Young is the guy. I can't see, unless they're going to trade down, I can't see anything different.
I know. My New York Football Giants at that 4th overall pick. I'm just hoping they pick a quarterback. I'm just hoping they pick a quarterback. But even then, I think Gettleman will screw it up anyway. So,
hey, if the Washington's dumb enough to do that, let the Giants reap the rewards of getting probably the best player in the draft. Especially because I think Detroit's trading out of that's probably will trade out of that spot. I could see it happen.
Yeah. Well, Chase Young, amazing season at Ohio State this past season, college football. You know, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow this past season, I mean, Chase Young, he was just dominant. The guy's a freak of nature. I mean, the guy's big. He's fast. He's a game changer. Changer.
I know that you know, when he played in that Big Ten championship against Wisconsin, you know, he played pretty well. I think he had a couple tackles, a few batted passes. But you know, that game that he had against Penn State. Sorry, Sam, but that game against Penn State, he had, you know, I think he had like 9 or 10 tackles. He had 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, the guy is a wrecking crew on the defensive line. You can line him up pretty much anywhere outside. It's you know, the guy has legit talent. You know, they were talking about him possibly being one of the top picks last year when his defensive end mate goes to San Fran.
Yeah, I mean,
Mr. Bosa.
Well, but Haskins looked lost out there last season. I know it was rookie year. I mean, he only played 1 year collegiate football, but Haskins just looked lost. He looked lost out there, and
yeah, he did.
You know, it should be interesting. It really should be interesting. What, you know, again, what Washington will pick. You would assume Chase Young, but you know what? With Daniel Snyder as owner of the Redskins, you just never know about anything.
Well, the pick's in, so we'll see.
All right. Well, why don't you let me know what the pick is? I see the Joe Burrow interview with Susie Colbert on my delayed feed.
He's still on. He's still on. He's still chatting.
Okay. Well, the pick is in, so now they're virtually setting up that pick. You know, everybody is just trying to get in sync to congratulate this kid. And, you know, Joe Burrow. I like that kid. Cincinnati's going to love this kid.
Yeah.
They're going to love. He seems like a pretty humble guy. He's got the Bengals hat on. Young kid at Ohio, just had an unbelievable season. Are they picking him?
I mean, no. Sorry, I just was. I mean, you can't not like this kid. I mean, comparisons to Tom Brady, Cincinnati Bengals fans will go gaga if that's what happens. I mean, you're talking about one of the best, maybe the best quarterback ever. I hate saying that, but a stud. Someone that's going to lead your team. Maybe not has the best arm, but he'll do everything he can. Right now, they are showing Chase Young with his family. He's on the phone. It still does not officially have him there, but I would think that that's where they're going to go. I mean, I can't see them not doing something.
Well,
something with this kid.
He's number one on Mel Kiper's.
Yep.
But Mel Kiper, I'm telling you, like sometimes I don't know if he's full of crap, but but yeah.
Hey, he thought that Jimmy Clausen was going to be like the best thing since sliced bread, and that was his quarterback. Yeah. He even staked his reputation on it, and that was not a good one.
Yeah, I know that.
No, but I mean, if they do drop down, there are some obviously good players and good teams that could jump up into the space to take someone like that, unless it's going to be a quarterback. But Redskins, they're showing Ron Rivera, Kyle Smith, the VP of Player Personnel. They pick us in, and I think Goodell's about to come on the stage. Yep, Goodell's on the stage.
Is he really on the stage, or is he?
Yep, he's on the stage. And he's making the selection. And it's Chase Young, Ohio State.
Chase Young, Ohio State, has been selected by the Washington Redskins. There was no fooling around about this, about if Haskins is going to cut it or not. Chase Young, best available on the board by many pundits. They get a 6'5", 264-pound Ohio State, just elite ability, just quickness, size, just off the blocks, run defender, just, you know what? And the sky's the limit with Chase Young. He's going to torture quarterbacks in the NFC East twice a year. This kid is just, he's just dominant. You know what? Remember Dexter Manley long time ago? You're talking a long time ago, or Bruce Smith when he came for just a little while. You're going to get someone even better, I think, even better.
And that's actually
on that. And Ron Rivera, you got one of the Bears. When he played in Chicago. Defense. Daniel Snyder did something right. He got a great coach. He got an absolute great coach. Now he's just got to keep his mouth shut, because now he's got Chase Young. All right, let the process just take place. Great pick by the Redskins. I'm glad that they did not fool around. And, of course, I'm thinking objectively, because Chase Young should have been first overall if it wasn't for the
Mr.
biggest
Burrow.
need that Burrow. But you know what? You can't lose with Burrow. So now we go to number 3, Detroit Lions. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen here. What are their needs? What do you think is going to happen now that we know that the first 2 picks just went 1-2 with Burrow and Young?
Yeah, I still think they go defense. Jeff Okudah, Ohio State cornerback. I think they're to go 1-2 and with Ohio State picks. 2-3 with Ohio State picks. It's just too good of a player to pass up. He's probably the second or third best defensive player. Well, best player in this draft. After Chase Young, I mean, there's, like I said, those 2 players. You got Derek Brown and him. Jeff Okudah's, good press corner. He shadowed number 1s the whole entire year. I know, Big Ten, Ohio State doesn't have, the best schedule, but, the guy knows what he's doing. You can line up across from a X receiver or a Y receiver, goes deep. He has the speed to make sure he's right in their grill the whole way. And I was going to say with Ron Rivera and that team, he knows about defensive ends. He had Julius Peppers for how long? He knows
absolutely.
that he loves those defensive ends, and no one can fault him for that.
I mean, remember that 85 Bears defense? That defense was nasty. They were arrogant. They were fast. They were strong. They were intimidating, and going 15-1. And Jim McMahon, being Jim McMahon, and having sweetness in Walter Payton. I mean, that was just a great team. Just a great team overall. And and the Redskins back then, you remember they gave a run for their money, the Joe Gibbs team back then. Now, fast forward about 35 years later, Redskins, they got a defensive end. And again, I think Daniel Snyder maybe has learned by now, let the process let the people that you've hired take over. Matt Jr. writes, Chase Young is a very good. Maybe the Redskins should have somebody to protect Haskins, though. That's going to come in the second round. It has to come in the second round when the Redskins pick.
Sorry,
I'm gonna mute your mic there for a sec. Just give me a thumbs up that everything's good. Yep, everything's good. All right, no problem. One of these days, we're gonna get you a noise canceling headset. We'll plan this better. Because of social distancing, folks, I wasn't able to send them a headset. But anyway, moving on. Third overall pick, Detroit Lions.
So the pick is in. They're up on the screen. Roger Goodell, Jeff Okudah, Ohio State, cornerback.
Wow.
No, 6'1", 200 pounds. I mean, has all the tools to be shutdown corner in the NFL. Size, speed, he runs the route for these wide receivers, and he prevents separation. He's a great player, and they get a stud at 3, and now the Giants, coming up, they get the good choice of offensive tackle.
Hold on one sec. The New York Football Giants are on the clock. Let's welcome in all Giants fans who are going to be coming in to this podcast right now. This is where we're from. We're from New Jersey, New York. Everyone, welcome. So the first 3 picks now, there's Derek Brown, there's Isaiah Simmons. What is Dave Gettleman going to do? I don't know, but I know one thing. He better not pull off a stunt like that like last season. I mean, come on.
Nah.
This is anybody's guess, but I think he may have learned his lessons. Go Giants, says Kelly. Go Giants. With the 4th overall pick, Bill, I don't know where to go here. Do you go with Hog Mollies on the offensive line, or you go with Isaiah Simmons? I'll tell you what, you could rebuild the offensive line, but you can't teach that kind of talent with Isaiah Simmons after he just absolutely ripped up the combine. Combine.
I mean, the kid's he's a freak. I mean, he has all the tools.
They need defense. When I think of Giants football, I think defense. But I like the big guys. You can't have football without fat guys. Right up the gut. You need fat guys. They can block Saquon. So, he's a little machine that back there, but you need to have somebody to protect Daniel Jones. I mean, he can't even hold on to the football. Hopefully that's correctable. But if it's not, I mean, they got to go with offensive line. But I'm telling you, Isaiah Simmons, Clemson, you get pedigree out of this guy. You get absolute pedigree. All right? And he's still developing his skills. A physical freak of nature. He's versatile. He can play. It's just a matter of, like, where are they going to put him? Where are they going to put him on defense, right? And they need defense more than the offensive line. You know what? Maybe you could get somebody in free agency right now. Or does he trade down? I don't know. I don't
I
know.
mean, the team I see trade, if they wanted to trade up, would be LA, the Chargers. If they wanted to get a quarterback ahead of Miami, if they wanted Tua or Justin, depending on Herbert, depending on what they wanted to do. I still think they go with the tackle. I love Isaiah Simmons. He's going to be a beast. Either outside linebacker, he's rangy. He can rush the passer. He can go, defend the run, defend the pass.
What's great about this draft? What's great about this draft is it's deep with offensive line, and it's deep with wide receivers. They could wait till the second, third round for offensive line and wide receivers. What's not deep is someone like Isaiah Simmons falling to you, 6'4", 238 from out of Clemson, great pedigree. Yeah, I'm telling you, this has to be the pick. You want explosiveness. You don't have What is Leonard Williams going to do with his big, fat, franchise tag contract? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. The guy's a slug. Okay? Yes, you need fat guys in football, but the guy just stops runs. But he's not running after the passer, right? So you want somebody like that. You want somebody. I want Isaiah Simmons. And gentlemen, you better not screw this up. I'm telling you. Because if you're going to screw this up, I'm ending this podcast and I'm going to fine you. I'm not going to be social distancing, gentlemen.
That's a Giants fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but if he trades down and he gets some really good value out of, because he needs picks, I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. But when you got a physical freak like Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, again, pedigree. I like pedigree. I like Penn State. I like Clemson. I like winners. I want winning. I want fat guys that can run. And I wouldn't say he's fat, but he's 6'4", 238. Where do you put him on defense? He's going to be like the Lawrence Taylor, where quarterbacks are going to be like, where is Simmons lining up? That's what I want.
I had Leo Williams on the Jets, obviously, and you could see that he was a great, a good run blocking defensive tackle, but he wasn't supposed to be, we got him as a steal, one of the steals of the draft, and he didn't turn into the player they were expecting. So I understand your frustration. They need that guy that can do everything for that defense and really, show up and lead them. I mean, if you watch that game, Clemson, he was a one-man wrecking crew. He was the best player on the field in that spot, and it's one of those picks that they can't go wrong with, taking either Simmons or, if you want the hog molly that he covets, I mean, Jedrick Wills or even Tristan Wirfs, who might be more of a guard, but I mean, these two are, ultra talented, surefire, plug and plays on that offensive line from the get go. So, if he wants to trade down and get those picks, it's good.
I tell you what, I love hog mollies, but what Eric Flowers did to me and Weston Richburg, and who's that other guy with the small thumb? Jason Justin
Pugh.
Jason Pugh. It's just like. I don't know. You could get like O'Hara, you could get these guys in free agency, or you can get undrafted free agents that are hog molly. Wasn't Jeff Saturday undrafted? Was he ever drafted?
Yeah,
Jeff Saturday.
I think he was undrafted. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you can get these fat guys up front and that can bowl over, pancake the other defense. But you know what? What do I know? That's why I'm not the GM of the New York Football Giants. As we're waiting for the pick, so is Gettleman going to take his time? All right, minute 10 left.
Pick is in. Sorry.
Okay, pick is in.
Changes fast. All right. No, I mean, Dustin White on Facebook was saying, they can get offensive at 36. Yeah, I mean, at that number 4 pick in the second round, I do have them taking a center, but then that's, one of the offensive linemen, they could take it there instead. Go get Isaiah Simmons, bring him in that defense. Give Sam Moose something to cheer about.
Yeah, I want fast, fat guys. If you got the 4th overall pick, you already got your quarterback. You already got your running back that was touched by the hand of God, right? Now we need defense. If you draft an offensive, that means 3 years in a row, top 6 picks, you're drafting offense, you're going to need some defense. I mean, Ogletree, like, he didn't do anything. You're letting the why is that slipping? Who are they letting? I'm just probably because I'm all nervous and I'm just like, Yeah, but is it Marcus Golden? I forgot.
Oh, Golden,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. So who are the Giants going to pick? You better tell me. And you know what? If he picks somebody that's not even on our board, we're just ending this podcast because I'll be so pissed off. I won't even yeah. Well, actually, I'll be considerate since you're doing a great job tonight. I'll make it to 11, but I'm probably just going to sit here like this.
It's okay. They can find the mock draft on Twitter. We can easily call it for your sanity.
Yeah, and then you got the Miami Dolphins with the 5th pick. Is he what is he doing? I mean, you pick Daniel Jones. You can't really pump fake. How can
he's
you
on the
pump
screen?
Fake?
Gettleman's on the screen. Your boy.
Oh my goodness. Here, I have my finger on the trigger on the board. I mean, if it's something that I do not like, Joe Judge does his homework. I think Joe Judge is the voice of reason. Joe Judge wants to make a name for himself. This is Joe Judge's team. Giants pride. Gettleman, don't screw this one up. I am just
You ready?
dying.
Here's Roger.
Just give me the play-by-play. Just give it to me, man.
All right, he's up. He's reading from that card. You bunch of Giant fans in the background cheering. New York selection. Let's see it. He's reading. Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle, Georgia.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean,
I had him as the 4th tackle. I mean, going to the Jets. I mean, so obviously, the Andrew Thomas, right? Let's give him some props right now. I mean, he is a stud tackle. He's been the number 1 tackle for Georgia in his 3 years there. I mean, he was all SEC. I mean, he's a really good tackle. But I mean, you had 2 other guys there that I thought were better, and then you've sold me on Isaiah Simmons.
Gettleman, look, what the hell are you doing, Gettleman?
I can also hear my family screaming from down in East Hanover about how unhappy they are about the pick.
You know what? Here, I'm just going to play this right now. Hold on.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, Sam.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. 2 years in a row, disappointment with that number 1 pick.
Heck, you could put Isaiah Simmons at left tackle if you wanted to. Have him play 2 sides of the ball, gentlemen.
Hey, he could have been a running back, too. Wow.
Are you kidding me? I was sold on Simmons.
Everybody on Facebook agrees with you, man. 4th-rate offensive tackle messed up again. Oh, wow.
You got to be kidding me. Like, if he had maybe Wirfs. I mean, who did you have ranked highest at?
So it was between Wills and Wirfs. I thought Wills was a better tackle. I thought Wirfs would be a guard. Yeah, man.
Then trade down, you bozo. Trade down. Trade down. Gettleman does it again. He does it again. There's nothing. It's not against Andrew Thomas. It's nothing against Daniel Jones. But why take those picks when you've got Isaiah Simmons? I bet you if Chase Young was still on the board, Gettleman would freaking pick this guy.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a head shaker. But like we're saying, Andrew Thomas, he's a legit left tackle prospect, someone to protect your quarterback for years. I can understand that they want to protect him, but I mean, I think definitely trading down could have been something they could have got him at 6, 7, even 9 if Jacksonville wanted to trade up, or even Vegas at 12. I mean, that's a tough one. We're
3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. The Saquon Barkley one was perfect, right? 2 years in a row. You've got the 6th overall pick. You could have traded down. Okay. You got the 4th overall pick. You know what? At this point, I don't want Gettleman to have any picks in the first round. It's just it's like, would this guy have been there in the second round? Would this guy, I mean, could he fall? Could he potentially have fell down the draft? I mean,
Andrew Thomas?
Yeah, Andrew Thomas.
I don't think you would have made it past like the Jets or even San Fran, maybe Tampa at the lowest at 14, but I don't see him falling down that far. But I mean, I agree with you. There's no reason why. I mean, we're playing armchair QB or GMs here, but I could have seen him dropping to at least 7 or 8, getting the same player and getting some picks with it too, especially ones that he traded for Leo Williams.
I think Isaiah Simmons is going to make these teams feel sorry. I think I think he's a great player. I like Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama, Wills out of Alabama. I like all these players, but okay, you know what? I'm over it right now. It's just the value of a 4th overall pick. Now, here's on the flip side, and I want to defend. I'm gonna be fair to Gettleman, right? This is what any fan would want out of their GM. Just stick to their convictions, stick to their guns, right? Get the best available player that's going to help the team, right?
Yeah.
Offensive tackle, Andrew Thomas. Okay, all right. I'm a little bit calm about it. It's just like last year with Daniel Jones, but man, was I sold on Simmons. Was I sold on him? And, the Giants were doing their homework on other quarterbacks. It's like, but you know what? This also builds for the future, Gettleman. If he's still with the Giants by next year, he's unpredictable, man. He is unpredictable with his picks. Because I would have never, because you're hearing the pundits and everybody's talking, and what is he going to pick in the second round? We will find out tomorrow. But just, wow. Unless he has another trick up his sleeve where he's going to get the next pick. But Miami's pick is in, right?
Dolphins pick is in, yep. I haven't taken Tua. I mean, they didn't have to trade up. They didn't have to do anything. They can get a quarterback, whether him or Herbert, and get this whole thing going. It's definitely a spot that they want to be in. They didn't have to give any draft capital. They have 2 more first round picks after this. I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for them to load up and really make a run at becoming a AFC East team to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I mean, I wonder what, really, Buffalo had a great year. Obviously, the Patriots did, but the Patriots are just going to be completely different, aside from the head coach and the ownership group. This is maybe Miami's chance to just kind of like make some noise and get back in the AFC East. Yeah, and, with Buffalo, things are going to happen up in Buffalo where they may not be as good, sophomore slumps.
Pick is in, Tua.
Is it Tua?
I didn't even see Goodell come even on the screen. But pick is in, Tua. Chargers are on the clock at 6. Kuiper is going over all his knee injuries, or all his injuries: sprained knee, left quad, left ankle, index finger, dislocated hip, wall fracture issues, knees. I mean, but this kid is ultra talented, and he's one of those players that he can easily make a difference. This kid's legit.
So what's the clock that you have? I have 6:50.
I got 6:45. Are you catching up?
No, I'm not catching up. I'm looking at a different clock on ESPN.com.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So I have a general. So Derek Brown hasn't been selected. Isaiah Simmons hasn't been selected.
You still have the two stud. Sorry, you still have the 2 stud tackles. who I think wills and worths. You have Justin Herbert, Simmons, Derek Brown. You still got CeeDee Lamb, the great wide receivers that are on the board here. There's tons of talent for a Chargers team. I mean, their defense is legit. They have cornerbacks out the yin yang. I mean, you got players on that defense that can make a big time move for a playoff team if they can get a quarterback. I don't think Tyrod Taylor's the answer. Maybe he's a game manager and can help them kind of like Tennessee did last year, where they have a great running back and defense and they lead it that way. But go get the quarterback of your future, Justin Herbert. Maybe he's the next Philip Rivers. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, Chargers. I'm thinking quarterback. Philip Rivers is out. Like what you said. It should be interesting what they're going to do. Should be interesting. But can you imagine? Simmons at 7 for Carolina Panthers?
I mean, they could take him. Oof.
I just hate it when teams get lucky.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get Isaiah Simmons and at that, their defense, I mean, you're looking at one of the top defenses in the NFL. For fantasy football players, that's one of those surprise defenses this year coming up. I think they have the perfect opportunity to go to number 1. Something to really, they're a bunch of studs over there. But I got to see them taking a quarterback. I just, they're actually comparing Tua to Mark Brunell. Interesting.
Well, Tua, he did great at Alabama. It's unfortunate he got hurt. I thought they brought him back too early last season before he was done for the season. So, but you got to take baby steps with him. You can't rush him. I mean, I know he's your stud quarterback. I mean, and he wore number 13 as well at Alabama.
Yeah.
But so the comparisons to Steve Young. Steve Young wasn't he a great quarterback? Wasn't he a great quarterback?
From Canadian Football League all the way to the NFL. It's a nice story too.
And the USFL too. The USFL, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Steve Young.
Yeah, sorry, not Canadian Football League, USFL. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
But they're most TDs by a left-handed QB. You got Boomer at 1, Steve Young at 2, Kenny Stabler. I mean, that's another thing. He's one of the first lefties to come in. I think. Who's the quarterback coach of Dallas? He was the last lefty to, I think, throw a touchdown pass. But yeah, they there's not been many lefties, and they're going to have to find a whole new way to block for this kid. It's a good pick for them.
Well, I'm sure my buddy Hans is very happy. He loves
Hans.
Yeah, he's a Dolphins Nation guy. Hey, I just know we're talking on air. I'm thinking about going to 13. Should we just go to 13 or you want to do the whole draft?
I mean, we can go to 13, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to 13. Just because Dan Marino, Tua, 13.
Tua, Dan Marino.
13. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're at the top of the hour. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. Carolina's on the clock, right?
No, Chargers are on the clock. Picks in, too.
Picks in, too? Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen.
Oh, good.
So pick is in. Who could it be? Are they going to Isaiah Simmons' house?
They're showing Aaron Rodgers at 24. Brady Quinn. They're showing QBs. Maybe it's foreshadowing. Oh, Geno Smith, not a good Jets pick. Oh,
yeah, that wasn't good. I mean,
no, that was terrible.
Well, I think once he got punched in the face, I think that was all over for Geno Smith.
Oh man.
I mean, you don't want to wish that on somebody, but that's just. I was like, what else could go wrong? I mean, And he was the guy that replaced Eli Manning as a starter for the New York Football Giants. Like,
Yeah, that's.
okay,
I mean, the biggest slap in the face. It could have been. What was it? Davis Webb was the guy behind them too, or was it Davis Webb?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, they could have just started a young kid and been like, oh yeah, we'll give this kid a chance. They give Geno Smith the chance. Oh,
yeah. Davis Webb, he deserves to go into a football game, but I don't know what happened with him. Is he still with the Jets? Is he still like studying with the Jets?
no, I think he's in Seattle. I think he's in Seattle backing up Russell Wilson. I think that's the
Gotcha.
last time he was there last year. I don't know if he's still there this year, but yeah, I mean, that's the Jets. I mean, so many. Well, we'll get to them eventually, but
Yeah, that's a
Now
long road to the NFL.
yep, pick is in San Diego Chargers. They have the nice graphic on the board at ESPN. Now they have Chargers fans, and here comes Goodell. Let's see here. Looks like Rogers got a whole bunch of M&Ms he's chowing on. Let's see. Selection is Justin Herbert, QB Oregon. Wow, I'm 5 of 6.
Wow. Well, I don't blame you for that 4th overall pick, Dave Gettleman.
That's what I was trying to get. I was trying to get the reaction there. Oh, man.
All right, Carolina is now on the clock.
Yeah, Carolina's on the clock with Isaiah Simmons sitting there for 7. If they want to take him, that's a good one. But Justin Herbert, kids, I think he was a 4-star, they say 3-star recruit out of high school. But a great quarterback prospect, decent arm, he's smart, heady, knows what he's doing. Obviously not going to be Philip Rivers. He was more of a gunslinger, but, kid knows what he's doing in the pocket. Pretty good at reading blitzes. They had him as the 3rd overall quarterback, and he's going to a team that could use someone to work behind Tyrod Taylor for a year and possibly even start somewhere in the back half of the season if they're not in playoff contention. But that's a good place for him to land. He's got the receivers to work with, the running game, offensive line, and then that defense, like we said.
Absolutely. All right, so Carolina Panthers. These lucky, they won the sweepstakes for Matt Rule, right? They've got an owner that can pretty much buy anything. They could buy us if they wanted to. From Jersey, by the way. Jersey, from Short Hills, moved his entire company down to South Beach, to Florida. And then he goes, I'm going to buy an NFL team. And, man, he wants to win, David Tepper. Yeah. He wants to win. He's got his people there. He wants to win. This is a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. I don't think this is they need a linebacker. They need a linebacker. There's one right there. He's just one state over. Yeah,
I mean, outside of a tackle, I think they have all the offense they need. It really is defense, and Isaiah Simmons is the top guy. Derek Brown's there as D tackle. They still have Short, who's a really good defensive tackle. Don't think they'd go that route, but wouldn't be surprising if they go someone like that. But yeah, I mean, they have the perfect player. 3rd overall prospect on most people's big boards. One of the top players in this draft, Isaiah Simmons, right there for the taking. Panthers pick is in, so we'll see what happens.
Panthers pick is in. Wow, that quickly, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think once that whole 10 minutes worth of Cincinnati Bengals, sitting on their thumbs waiting for Joe Burrow to come up, they've started to roll a little bit now.
Yeah, let me give you a little insight in that conversation. Joe, you are going to sign, right?
Please come play for us.
So the Panthers pick is in. We're just waiting for that. I just want to say hello to Facebook Live. We've got a lot of people today for our debut maiden voyage of this football primetime podcast. I have been sharing this link to a lot of groups. I think everybody's watching their TVs. They're not on Facebook Live. They're not on Twitter, Periscope. And that's part of the experiment that we're doing here with Football Live. But that's okay. I'm having fun with you, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, the big thing is that this is, I mean, outside of that whole Jordan documentary, this is like the biggest thing sports-wise to come up, since play stopped, beginning of March. I mean, it's a big deal when there's nothing going on that people tune in their TVs. And, we obviously appreciate everybody being here with us on Facebook Live and Primetime Radio.
Yeah, I'm just looking on my phone to see any Giants fans' reaction to Andrew Thomas at number 4. Has anybody? Oh, I'm getting there. I'm just I think look, was he right about Daniel Jones? Yeah, I like Daniel Jones, but was he right to pick him at 6 overall? I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I agree. But you know what? Gettleman has his favorites, and you know what? He got his hog molly. He got his hog molly out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas.
It's he got his tackle. I think that he's still a very good prospect, and Giants fans will maybe he's like DeBrishaw Ferguson from the Jets, where you don't hear his name, and that's always a good thing because he's not blowing tackles. But keeps up Daniel Jones upright. Blocks for Saquon. And helps that team get some wins. Obviously the Giants are a proud franchise and a good one, and they they need those studs to help them out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm seeing all these commercials on.
Minshew Mania.
So the pick is in for Carolina. Did they make the announcement on your end?
Nope, nothing yet. They just showed Minshew, and they're showing the Griffin brothers, the twins. Sorry, they're just going on a bunch of teams and showing guys getting drafted and stuff. I think they're maybe Goodell's feed went down.
Yeah,
that would be perfect. That he ruins the draft.
Yeah. So maybe Goodell's feed went down. Maybe Giants fans got so pissed off at Gettleman that they pulled Goodell's feed, in New York, out of his basement.
Well, they got Christian McCaffrey is up on the screen.
All right, so Giants pick is whack. Darren writes in the Facebook Live. Yeah, it is whack. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of analysis later on that. We're just trying to figure that one out, Bill. Trying to figure that one out. And I'm just, and the Jets have that 11th overall pick, but right now I'm just shaking my head. Like, why, Gettleman? Why?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's tough to see that decision and not think that he could have done a couple little things. Maybe it's trading down, or maybe it's taking a different tackle, or like you wanted Isaiah Simmons. But you got Matt Rule on the screen. This pick's taking a little while for the Panthers to make it, but a lot of pieces in that Giants draft that you question, but for the kid's sake, Andrew Thomas, really good player, and he's going to be hopefully a bookend for the Giants for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, so I'm just going to check a couple fan reactions. Well, welcome to the Giants, Andrew Thomas. You know what? I still want Isaiah Simmons.
Here's Goodell.
Here we go.
All right, so a bunch of Panthers fans on the screen. He's making the call. And the selection is, drumroll, Derek Brown, defensive tackle, Auburn.
Wow. Actually, you did say defensive tackle. You did say 6'5".
No, he's
326.
The guy, he's a beast. I mean, you're talking about probably the best defensive tackle. Well, absolutely the best defensive tackle in the draft. Someone that gets after the passer, someone that can, occupy blocks. They're saying not quite Aaron Donald, but someone in that kind of mold where he can do a lot of different things to make plays. interior defender. As a pass rusher, he can beat him with a bunch of moves, and it's a good pick. I mean, they needed that, and now you got someone like Arizona, who maybe you get someone to help on defense, or they take one of those two top tackles. It's wow.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals up next.
3 minutes left on their draft.
They drafted Murray, and so is the draft time going faster as the later picks coming in, or am I just imagining that?
I think it's still 10. It's still 10 minutes. It takes forever for these guys to make their picks, right? They're going through commercials and ads in that time. But yeah, we got 3:11. I was saying 3 minutes, but it's 3:11 left. Arizona Cardinals, that offense is really good. They do need people to protect Murray, and then they could use defense. So I could see him going either in the trenches, or Isaiah Simmons falling to 8 with them. The only thing I would say was Isaiah Simmons is that a lot of teams don't know what he's going to be, whether it's a linebacker or a safety. He's that tweener kind of guy, but you see players like that can go and move around and occupy space and get from place to place extremely quick, and those are the kind of guys that you want to build a defense around. I can't see why they would want someone like this not to fall.
Well, the other thing too, can you imagine if he falls down to Jacksonville, the 9th overall pick, and they select him, and then they have Allen and Simmons. That reminds me of Banks and LT, not quite, but
Jacksonville Jaguars fans are going to be extremely happy if that happens, because that's two guys that do everything. That would be pretty awesome.
Well, I love defense, man. I love defense.
Yeah.
I like fat guys that can run, and I like defense. And I like fat guys that like to overpower you. I like fat guys in the trenches. But I'll tell you what, I love defense. Love defense. And
so Cardinals pick is in.
The Cardinals pick is in.
Yeah.
Well, want to welcome everybody from Arizona into the Football Primetime podcast. We're doing this live from our virtual studio, Primetime Radio. You can tweet us questions. We've had a question. You can tweet us at Primetime Radio. You could leave something on the Facebook Live, a message or whatever. Got some questions. We get to them. I know Matt's been active. Darren says Giants pick is whack. I'll tell you. I'm wondering who Arizona is going to pick. They need some tackles on both sides of the ball. They need an outside linebacker. They need a running back. They need a wide receiver. 5-10-1. Kyler Murray led offense. Do they go offense? Do they go defense? We shall see. Arizona Cardinals pick is in.
All right, here comes Goodell.
All right, I'll let you take this one. But Derek Brown with Carolina, excellent pick for Carolina. They couldn't go wrong with him either.
Yeah, both of them were, extremely good. Would have been extremely good picks for them. All right, here he is, Isaiah Simmons. They took the linebacker. Cardinals, smart move.
Sorry, Jaguar fans. Didn't happen, but so Isaiah Simmons goes to the Arizona Cardinals.
I'll say they also took your heart with it, huh?
Yeah, you know what? Andrew Thomas is he's growing on me. He's growing on me because
good.
Quite frankly, none of the tackles, offensive linemen, have been taken other than Andrew Thomas. So that must say something, whether it's needs or whatever. But that must say something that maybe this isn't the big draft class that everyone was thinking. But you know what? If these hog mollies, these offensive linemen are not taken in the first 10, and this being a deep draft for these big guys on the O-line, there could be some good bargains there in the second round for some of these teams that are looking to beef up their offensive line.
No, I mean, there's a lot of tackles still on the board. I mean, you got 3 studs, and we're only at pick 9, so I mean, there's a lot of talent there. Jets could take a tackle, or they could get a wide receiver. I'm just looking at Twitter like you were, and a couple guys are saying Gettleman's leaving. He just put his mask on, so maybe he's quarantining in his own house. No one wants him anymore. But
that's funny, but that's not funny.
Yeah, I know. And the big thing you see now, right? We're 9 picks in, and no one's made a trade, and that's normally you don't see that kind of thing, and I think it's.
Did you just jinx it? Now I'm just looking at these Isaiah Simmons highlights, and I'm just like, he could have been manning that guy, his post. Like that guy is just end to end. He's fast.
I didn't realize he lined up as a cornerback 17 times.
Wow.
I
mean, he is. We suck again, Duvall.
Oh man. Well,
Facebook Live starting to come alive. I mean, Andrew Thomas, the Giants, the only offensive lineman at this point taking in the first round. Jaguars, they've got some needs. Who do you think they're going to be taking here?
I had them taking Derek Brown, and then I would have taken Isaiah Simmons as that other guy. But maybe they take an offensive tackle. You got Tristan Wirfs. You got still Jedrick Wills. You got Mekhi Becton. Maybe they go for someone like Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle, South Carolina. C.J. Henderson, a cornerback. There's still a lot of talent on the board. Maybe someone like Clavon Chason from LSU, but I think that might be a little bit of a reach. But they do need pass rushers. Maybe says Jaguars pick is in, but and they're actually a commercial right now. But I just can't see them going wide receiver. I think they have too many guys that between Chris Conley and DJ Shark. I think it's probably going to be a tackle. I don't think.
What about Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could be the guy that at D tackle that they do take. He's a very good player too. Someone that not quite Derek Brown, but someone that can hold his own. Has some pass rushing ability. Good player. South Carolina had a good season with him on defense, and because of not because of just him, but a lot of it was because of him. I think most draft boards had him at in between the 10 to 15 in terms of overall talent. He didn't get to work out, but he's 6'5", 315. Like he's a monster athlete, and eyeball test says that he has that special ability to get off the ball and fight off blockers. Be a good player for them. They could definitely take him.
Yeah, I'm sure the dog pound is waiting after this pick with Cleveland with the 10th overall, and your New York Football Jets. Do you even call them the New York Football Jets, or they're just the Jets?
No, they're just the Jets.
They're the Jets.
It's just depressing. It's the Jets.
I mean, I can't imagine being a Jets fan. I mean, Eagles fans were suffering for so long up until that recent Super Bowl win. Yep. But those Jets fans, they are hardcore.
We're hearing numbers. I mean, I've been a fan since they were, them and the Saints were the worst team in the league. It's tough being a Jet fan, but there's, hopefully some sunlight on the horizon. You got Darnold. You have the makings of a pretty decent defense. They still obviously, like we were talking before, they need a defensive end. They need a cornerback. But I think the offense side of the ball is something that they've lacked for a while now. I think the last six of the last 7 first-round picks were all defensive players. Leo Williams, Quinnen Williams last year, Jamal Adams. I mean, we've had D tackle after D tackle, and that's something that frustrates me all the time is we keep taking D tackles. But I want offense. I want. It would be really nice to have a wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, and I'm not going to be complaining if they take one of those two players. But if Tristan Wirfs or Jedrick Wills falls to them, I mean, protecting your quarterback, he got sacked so many times last year, and you just play after play, he's getting massacred, and he got hurt, and if you can't block for your quarterback, it's the first issue. He's not going to be able to get the ball out to one of these two wide receivers in time. So I'd probably take a tackle.
Seeing another Tom Brady commercial just makes me sick. Well, you're probably happy that he's out of New England.
I mean, who wouldn't be happy? AFC East, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, he just pretty much owned it for practically 2 decades, right?
Yeah, Mo Lewis, worst play in NFL history. Jesus, something that'll haunt me for the rest of my life. No, but they still have the best coach in the NFL, best coach probably of all time. They have a very good defense. They have their offensive line is very good. They'll be able to protect either Stidham or Hoyer, whoever they put in there. They still have Julian Edelman. They have some, N'Keal Harry is still there, first round pick last year, I think it was, or either late maybe early second round pick, whatever he was. But they have some players that can help on that offense, and we'll see if they can, pull what they did when Brady blew out his knee, 10 years ago, and they still pull in the playoffs. I think they're the team to beat. I think Bills are the next team, and then probably the Jets after that. But Brady's going to do well in Tampa. I think he's gonna do real well. Here's Goodell with the pick for the Jags. So it'd actually be funny to see who does better between Bill or Brady. But Jaguars take C.J. Henderson, cornerback of Florida. So they go after Jalen Ramsey's heir apparent. This kid, C.J. Anderson, he's a really good player. They were talking about him as possibly being the top cornerback rated by a lot of different people out of Florida. He had some great games. I think he's a number one that has a lot of speed and prevents those receivers from getting space. I think one of the big things on him, if I remember rightly, was he's a real bad tackler, but good pick at number 10. I would have thought they'd go after D-tackle or a tackle, but I think after losing out on Simmons and Brown, they went with the cornerback.
So they went defense, Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's round out so far the first 9 picks. We got Burrow going first overall. We got Chase Young second overall, as to be expected. We got Okuda at third, Andrew Thomas at fourth. You got Tua at fifth with the Miami Dolphins. What's so funny? Just the way I said it.
Yeah. Sorry.
You got Herbert at 6, Brown at 7 with Carolina, Isaiah Simmons 8, Henderson at 9. Cleveland is on the clock. Cleveland Browns.
So they're actually already pick is in. The pick is in. They didn't waste any time.
Wow.
I think they go after a tackle. I would think it's maybe either Wills or Mekhi Becton. That's who I had them taking. I'm looking at this draft board, and Chris Sanders just on Facebook Live even said it. Wirf. I mean, if he falls to the Jets at 11, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be doing laps in my basement for a little bit because he's a stud, and I had him going a lot higher. And if something like that falls, that'd be fantastic.
So New York Jets will be picking at 11 right now. The pick is in for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Cleveland Browns.
They have wide receivers.
They got plenty of wide receivers.
Yeah. No, your boy.
Oh, he's not my boy. I couldn't stand him when he was with the Giants.
No.
I kind of like guys that just play football and shut up. I'm old school. I'm old school like Gettleman, but I know how to pick. I know the value of a 4th overall pick. But that's between you and I and Facebook Live and whatever.
Yep.
Browns night take a wide receiver. Is CJ crying because he is happy or sad? No one wants to be a Jag. Pretty funny
Oh, that's pretty
comments
good.
on the Facebook Live. Facebook Live, yes, Facebook Live. We're live right now at the Primetime Radio virtual studio. I am your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy Bean, talking football in Primetime Live. You can tweet us at Primetime Radio, any kind of questions, and maybe we'll just answer them on air. As Cleveland Browns.
Here comes the Browns. Here's Goodell.
All right, I'll let you make the announcement.
Jedrick Wills Jr., offensive tackle, Alabama.
Wills.
So they go after the big right tackle. The he's a stud if you watch him for Alabama. No one got around him. He's blocking the blind side for Tua. This is it's a good pick. Alabama gets someone to take over for on that line and help block Baker.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to have a lot of New York Jets fans piling into this Facebook Live right now as they are now on the clock. Wills goes to Cleveland. That was a quick pick. You said you were going to do some laps if Wirfs was the pick of the New York Jets. Me being a Giants fan, I'm a little... I don't know. Maybe I just don't know football. I don't know. But fourth overall, everybody's boards at Andrew Thomas, a little bit lower, just a little bit lower. But you know what? The big guys, the fat guys are now being picked. Wills from Alabama goes to Cleveland. Who are the Jets going to pick? And just remind you, Jets fans, that this is Banner's first draft. So there's some promise here that, you didn't have the other guy screwed up for you. If he did screw up.
No, he's got some track record in Philly.
And then you want to go before I can't even pronounce his last name, but then you had Itzik, the guy that, was the salary cap champion. The salary cap champion for Woody Johnson's New York Jets. And AJ writes, give me that offensive weapon. Well, Sam Darnold needs to be protected, right? Do you go with the offensive line? You need some tackles. You need some defense. Robbie Anderson is no longer there. You need somebody at wide receiver. You need quarterback. You need inside linebackers. You need a lot of stuff. New York?
No, Shorts guy with the he hopes the Jets pick an offensive lineman that Darnold can butt fumble into. That would be
you know what Shorts guy's asking? He's asking this.
Where's the beef?
He wants beef. He wants beef. I think Jets fans want beef, right? They want beef. I should have played this sound bit when Gettleman made his pick. I forgot I had that on the board, so I just did it right there. So Wills looks like a beast. So let's not talk about butt fumble. This is a Jets proud day. You got the 11th overall pick, right? You got to think positive. This is Joe Banner's first draft as a executive extraordinaire for the New York Jets. Their pick is not in, so is there some wheeling and dealing for this right now? Do they know who they're going to pick? What do you think, Jets fans? Facebook Live, let us know. I know Shorts Guy says greatest play ever, the butt fumble. Look, Mark Sanchez, I don't know what's worse. Rex Ryan tattooing Mark Sanchez's image on his body or butt fumble? I just don't know. He was like he was married. Rex Ryan when he first came to the Jets, Rex Ryan, that he called the season ticket holders. Hey, the Patriots are in town. We're going to need you to be loud and proud. And Rex Ryan gets you fired up. He had Mark Sanchez so fired up that he kept on firing the ball over the receiver's head every single time, right? So it's a new era for the New York Jets. You got to trust Joe Banner. He knows what he's doing. Give him some time. You've already waited since Joe Namath what's another couple years going to do? The Jets will be back. I'm sure of it, unless they screw up this pick. You never know, and then I may change my mind. But you're looking for offensive line. You're looking for fat guys, right? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I mean, I either want Tristan Wirfs or I want Jerry Jeudy / CeeDee Lamb. One of the three. If it's not one of those three, I might be with you in the misery tree.
Okay. Well, just promise me one thing, that if you need to run around in your basement because you're either mad or sad, just let me know. I could take over. I could do a monologue for about 2 minutes of football primetime live.
I ain't leaving you.
Well, all right. So far we have a minute 30 left 35 on the clock. What's taking you so long, Joe Banner? I mean, don't you know who you're going to pick, Joe?
Yeah, Joe Douglas. Sorry.
But no. What are your feelings about Adam Gase? What are your feelings about him as a coach?
Dislike. I just think that you fail with Miami and you can't develop a quarterback. I thought there were better options available at the time. I do like the defensive coordinator. I think he tries hard. Obviously, he's had his own demons in the past, but not the biggest Gase fan. I mean, we'll see this year. If he can't get Sam Darnold righted and get an offense rolling, I mean, why'd you bring him in? He's supposed to be an offensive guru, so we'll see. But I don't like it.
Yeah. And after the Jets, you got the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Jets pick is in. So,
by the way, the Raiders stadium looks sweet. Looks sweet from the outside. That looks like a black hole. It looks nice.
That's the big thing. I mean, they were supposed to have like 600,000 to 700,000 people at the draft today, and in Vegas doing this whole thing. And unfortunately, with what's going on, they couldn't do it. But they're doing Mel Kiper's draft board. Sorry, but Jerry Jeudy and then Tristan Wirfs at 1-2. So give me one of those two, and I'll be happy. But yeah, Vegas would have been nice.
Jets pick is in, Sam Wu, according to Matt Junio. Yes, I know, but I have a delayed feed here, so I'm going to go to Billy Dean to tell us who the New York Jets are picking.
Yeah, so far no Goodell. We got Michael Irvin on the stage. Of course, he's got to get his 2 cents in. Man, he wears suits. He wears those suits. That is fancy.
Absolutely, he does. Absolutely,
wow, he's like a king. He's got the Super Bowl trophies in the background. That would be. I mean, hey, give me CeeDee Lamb and have him turn into Michael Irvin. I'll be really happy.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of likes on the Facebook Live. Well, thank you, people. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, is Michael Irvin going to stop talking, or is he still talking on your feed? Or it's like no one cares.
He's stopped. They're showing Henry Ruggs now. Oh God, no. Not that it's a bad thing, but I would rather. It hasn't been. That's not the pick, but they're showing him on the screen. Now they're also showing CeeDee Lamb now, so maybe they're showing wide receiver prospects.
Uh-oh.
All right, Jets pick is in. On the campus of ESPN, here comes Goodell rooting with Jets fans, which hopefully they're as happy as I'm going to be in a second. Jets selection. And the Jets will take Mekhi Becton, Louisville, offensive tackle. Yeah. All right. Well, let's give him the credence. I'm not a big fan, but no, I mean he's 6'7". He's like 357 pounds. I think weight issue is one of the big things. But I mean the guy is a massive tackle. Louisville. He's going to move people out of the way. Like you, I'm not exactly happy with Wirfs being on the board and CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, but we'll see. He's a big boy.
Oh, he is a big guy.
Wow, he's the heaviest player, 364 since 2006 to run a 5'2" or under 5'2". He's almost 6'8".
Wow. Is that his dad?
I mean,
that big guy?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, I want to take his dad in the second round. That's his dad.
Yeah. I mean, they're showing highlights of him and as a center for his high school team. I mean, this is a kid that they had high, he's probably has the highest ceiling in the highest ceiling in the entire of all the linemen. Athletic tackle, left. He can play left or right side. He's got a lot of props. Let's hope that this guy turns into the next Jonathan Ogden or something like that. It'd be fantastic.
Oh, so we got 2 more picks for this, this live podcast. Didn't mean to cut you off on there because I wasn't sure tonight how far we would go. But it's about 9:37 p.m. Eastern as the Jets have picked Becton. The Raiders are up. I love that new stadium. That look, that black, sleek look. They deserve a new stadium. Am I sad for the people of Oakland that they're leaving? Yes, I am. But, I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in Vegas with Mark Davis just running. I love Mark Davis, by the way. Like, he's just a normal guy. He's got a salad bowl haircut. That
hair is awesome.
The minivan, all that stuff. So we're going to go to, I think we're going to cut it off at number 13, San Francisco 49ers. This is our first podcast together. I actually met you today, virtually.
Yeah.
We were texting before. It's like, so thank you, Shorts guy. I like Bill Dean because, you know what? Here on the Primetime Radio Network, we just like to podcast. We like to podcast about sports. We just like to BS, join in the conversation. Brett, I can't find that video. Somebody writes. Matt is now joining in as the Raiders are on the clock. They're on the clock right now. Just an interesting draft. You know what? Some of the things that I was thought maybe would happen, like unexpected, never really never happened.
Yeah, Raiders pick is in, but yeah, no, there's been a lot of selections that have definitely raised some eyebrows, but a lot of guys taken where I thought they would go. There's look at the Vegas Strip; it's empty. But John Gruden waiting to make that pick of stud wide receiver, I'm sure.
It's going to be a wide receiver.
I think so. I mean, they have the choice between the 3 top guys: Lamb, Judy, Ruggs. I would think that they'd take probably. I have CeeDee Lamb, but I could see them definitely taking Jerry Judy too. Both guys have their pluses. One guy can go up and get the ball, make uncontested catches, and the other guy is just a stud route runner. Kind of reminds me of Amari Cooper. There's you can't go wrong with either of the two, and Vegas is going to get someone for whoever's going to be QB in that team to throw to.
Absolutely. So Raiders pick is in. Gruden's a good coach. He's definitely a good coach, but you know what? He ripped that team apart because he wanted to make it his team. He signed a long-term deal, a very long-term deal, favorite of Mark Davis, and relying on John Gruden. You see his family behind him. They look excited. I think they're going to go wide receiver. They're going to find the best available wide receiver.
Goodell's in the clock. Goodell's actually making the selection right now. They take Henry Ruggs, Alabama. So they go for the speed. Wow.
Ruggs.
Yeah. I mean, that's I told you, Al Davis, the ghost Al Davis lives. He took the speed guy that I said in the very beginning of the thing, that if he was still around, he'd be taking Henry Ruggs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
So now San Francisco 49ers are on the clock right now. Interesting what they're going to do. Because they need some more picks, but they got 2 first-rounders. This one coming from via Indianapolis Colts. Should be interesting what San Francisco is going to do. I don't know, Billy. I don't know. It should be
So-
interesting.
Yeah, definitely will. I still think they go with a wide receiver. I had them taking Jerry Jeudy. He's still there. So is CeeDee Lamb. So they could go one of the two. And they're also one of those teams that could go after whether it be a linebacker or a linebacker or maybe one of the corners. There's also another tackle still available, and Tristan Wirth. Maybe they go and try to get a replacement for Joe Staley.
Yeah.
I forgot Wirth's still available.
I'll tell you what, picking Nick Bosa last year's draft for San Francisco, that was clutch. That helped that team to get a world-class player, athlete. 13-3 last year, first in the NFC West. Just,
just their defensive line. Yeah, their defensive line with Armstead and they have so many good players on that line. D Ford, who they traded for last year with Kansas City. They have just a number of guys that can make plays, and that helps the defense. That trenches.
Absolutely. So we want to thank everybody in Facebook Live, YouTube Periscope, just chiming in. I'm just going to check the Twitter account at Primetime Radio, see if anybody has asked us any questions. It's about 9:43 Eastern. We're going to we're going to sign off. I think we're going to do this next year, Billy. I had a lot of fun. I mean, we were just kind of experimenting today as we're live on the Primetime Radio Network, Facebook Live, Twitter Periscope, and YouTube Live. And this is our first podcast together as we're waiting for San Francisco to make their pick. Yeah, we got, maybe there's something here, Billy. Maybe there's something here with football Primetime. Yeah.
We got to get Shorts guy in here, too, to talk more about the butt fumble and how much it's going to ruin Jets history.
You know what? Let me tell you something. For a guy that claims that he doesn't know anything about football, he knows sure a lot about butt fumble.
Yeah.
He knows his butt fumble.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so San Francisco's on the clock right now. San Francisco.
Yeah, 3:45.
They are loaded.
I mean,
they're going to be good for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, you got Raheem Mostert as running back. You got Deebo Samuel. Obviously, George Kittle is probably the best tight end in the league. They have that line, like I said, is very good. Joe Staley is getting older, so maybe they could take a tackle. They can also take Wirfs and put him at a guard for the time being. But that defense, I mean, Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Eric Armstead, they have all there is to want on a defense. Let's see if they go with either corner or wide receiver or tackle. Sorry.
Wow, we want to thank everybody that has tuned in for our maiden voyage of football primetime on the Primetime Radio Network. Thank you for chiming in. This is a kind of a pilot series. What to come, Billy? I enjoyed doing this. I mean, heck, we should do this Sundays. We should do Sundays. I mean, or maybe we shouldn't do Sundays since there's another podcast that's going on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. But hey, you know what? The graphics look great. Our feeds are great. See, I'm sure they're covering up when Michael Irvin is on. I'm sure they're covering up Roger Goodell's feed. It probably went down somewhere. I'm sure some guy just pulled the plug or whatever. There are certain ways to cover up, if things go wrong. Like here, let's I could do this and just confuse everybody, and or we could let's just do one more, what we did earlier today, with the Goodell boo, 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 boo. You don't want him to get away with it. He's not allowed to get away with it. But this is our last pick, and we'll definitely talk afterwards, Billy. A bathrobe, really?
It was a lot of fun.
Somebody wrote a bathrobe, really? Are you? is your family airing their dirty laundry on the Facebook Live? I don't know. I don't know.
They were talking about on the TV. There was someone in their bathroom, but 49ers just traded the pick to the Bucks, so the Bucks might be going after Tristan Wirfs.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Bucks are on the clock. First trade, 13.
First trade. Bucks are now on the clock. So
Bucks were supposed to pick next pick, so maybe they were worried about San Fran taking the tackle, so they jumped up to maybe grab a tackle. I can't see them jumping up to get a wide receiver. They obviously have way too much offensive reaches, but maybe they're going for Wirfs, or maybe even Javon Kinlaw, who I had them taking in my mock. We'll see. I think right now on the TV they're showing Tristan Wirfs, so
could happen.
So they're still waiting on the pick. So far, Buccaneers still say it's on the clock. I mean, hey, our last pick is a trade, so some excitement.
Hey, our last, yeah. Oh boy. Well, I'm really happy about this podcast. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. We're sitting around, social distancing, playing it safe, watching some football. I ordered Domino's before. Got myself some special deal. Got some wingies. I love wings. You like wings? I love wings. We should do once all this pandemic stuff is over and we're back to normal. We should have wings and do a podcast at some bar somewhere.
Absolutely.
Some dive bar. There's a great bar in the beautiful Rockaway downtown called Tavern on the Rocks.
Yep.
Beautiful establishment in the heart of downtown Rockaway, New Jersey, on 9 Wall Street. Wonderful bar. We've had some live events there in the past. We should definitely do that. Also, we'll bring a bathrobe, because I don't know why I had this. Well, it's that kind of, it's tough doing this for a couple hours.
Yeah, she said Ruggs was wearing a bathrobe, I guess. That was his attire for his family shot.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. And of course he's going to the Raiders, right?
Yep, Raiders. Well, we'll go get a beer and some wings.
Yeah, definitely. As we're waiting for the Bucks to, make their selection, the pick is in. This is our last pick, but we will definitely be back. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're definitely going to be back. We're going to invite some friends. We're going to invite some people to come on, to talk to us, talk some football. This is football prime time.
Yep.
I like this. This is football prime time.
Good chat.
On the Primetime Radio Network, where we promote what's right about fandom, and right now it's what's right is the NFL, this virtual draft, which so far, in my eyes and estimation, they did the best they could. I mean, I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm impressed with the footage. Of course, it's not like what it could be, but I'm impressed with us. You know why? Because we actually have we could boo Goodell anytime we want.
All right, yeah. Goodell's actually up. Speaking of, they took Tristan Wirfs, tackle of Iowa. Called it.
Wow. So Wirfs goes. They have protection for Tom Brady in Tampa, and that's our last pick of the night. That's our last pick of the night. So, hey, this was great. I'll just play a little bit of the outro music coming in very soon. So we want to thank everybody joining us for Football Primetime, a new Football Primetime debuting in its pilot series. In your debut, Billy Dean, I'm Sam Wu. Until next time, Thank you from the Primetime Radio Network in somewhere in New Jersey. Let's go football.
That's it.